Welcome back to Consumer Behavior. This session is on Chapter 9, Identity and Self. And before we get going, I do want to share with you a quote. People will forget what you said and forget what you did, but will never forget how you made them feel. By Maya Angelou, who was a uh, quite famous writer. Um, and this is a pretty good quote, and I think it relates directly to this material we're going to cover, which the identity and self. The self-concept and self-esteem, self-concept, the beliefs a person holds about their own attributes and how they elevate the self on these qualities. Identity, each element that contributes to our self-concept. These are the elements that create the identity. And the self-esteem is really a positivity of a person's self-concept. Hopefully it's positive self-esteem. There is negative as well, but that is the overall description of identity and self. Self-esteem, the positivity of a person's self-concept. People with low self-esteem expect that they will not perform well and they will try to avoid embarrassment, failure, and rejection. It's just wired into their system. Some products play off of this and they promise to give our self-esteem a boost. And these products are appealing to even people who have a bad day. Grab confidence by the pack, Orbit gum, time to shine. Um, it, it's an appeal to people who have either bad self-esteem every day or a short-term experience of bad self-esteem. These products are going after that mindset. Social comparison and self-construal. Social comparison, the person tries to evaluate their appearance by comparing it to the people depicted in these artificial images. Self-construal, the degree to which we think of ourselves as independent from others versus feeling independent with them, interdependent with them. Independent self, interdependent self. And again, we all know that these photos, for example, of the Gen Z fashion on the right are photoshopped and touched up, and lighting is corrected and what have you to make them look as perfect as possible. And a lot of times when a consumer sees these, they try to compare and possibly think, "Oh, if I wear that outfit, I'll look like that." That's what the marketer wants you to think. Self-consciousness. We are all several different people. That is all that needs to be said. Um, we see ourselves in the mirror the way we want to see ourselves in the mirror, the way we project ourselves. Do other people see us that way? Maybe, maybe not, but it's our self-consciousness, what we see. Creating ourself as we consume self-image congruence models. We choose products when attributes match the self-signaling, a message to ourselves that our choices sync with how we want to think about ourselves. This is very true, and marketers play off of this as well. The messages that they put on bottles, the colors they use, whatever, is all designed to capture the attention of their target audience. They study the target audience, they profile them, they do the personas, and then they do marketing messages accordingly to get people to say, "Oh, that's that product, that the marketers there, they get me, they get me, so I'm going to buy them because and they get me because we'll just look at that product. That's exactly what I need." Advertising that promotes a brand as helping to remedy low self-esteem. It crosses all age groups. It crosses all genders. For example, the Dove product, 52% of girls think online negativity damages their confidence. Let's Hashtag speak beautiful to help build self-esteem. Join the movement, Dove/self-esteem. You will notice this ad is also co-branded by Sam's Club, um, which is interesting. Sam's Club is endorsing, implicity endorsing this message by allowing their logo. The questions I have though is with this type of advertising is how can the results be measured? I guess you track sales, of course. Um, Maybe if you want to make inroads into this age group that they're showing, you can track purchase by or preference by age group. Or does a return on investment, ROI, even apply to these kinds of campaigns? Are they just goodwill campaigns that support the overall brand and give what's called the halo effect? See, oh, Dove is a good brand. I'll buy their products. And then again, it's also co-branded by Sam. So interesting. Brands do it all the time. But my question is, how do we measure it? I'm a big fan of measuring things. We consume to express our identities, the extended self, individual, of course, family, community, group. And we base our purchases on each one of these groups. New ways to express identity, compensatory consumption. Consumers respond to threats to their self-esteem by consuming products that link to that aspect of their self-concept. Products that link to that aspect. This could be the type of car you drive, or if you drive a car at all. Maybe you're a Lyft and Uber person, or maybe you have a bicycle. You live in a place where you can bicycle around any place you need to get to. So also the symbiotic self-completion theory, people who have an incomplete self-definition create their identity when they acquire and display symbols associated with their self-identity. And you look at that graphic on the right, certificates, medals, cap and gowns, sporting um, icons. People who have incomplete self-definition look to acquire things and symbolism to create their identity, as if to, if somebody sees them as, oh, if you're not sure, just look at my lapel pin. That tells you everything about me. Identity expression, and here's an example. People who knit, all right? Women who knit use physical spaces intentionally to assert their identity. Knitting is associated with domestic space of the home. Research shows that women who knit claim space for their activity in the home as if it were a small territory. Also intentionally knit in public venues to destabilize the negative stereotypes that are often associated. So all these things are going on. You might just think that somebody enjoys knitting, but subconsciously or even consciously, these are things that are happening. What you wear influences you and the people you interact with. Dressing up increases critical thinking, creative thinking, and problem-solving skills. It does. Research shows it does. That's a fact. Additionally, it increases self-confidence and helps people feel competent. Again, it's a fact. Clothing influences how others see and interact with a person, helps build social connections, and sends personal messages without the necessity for vocal communication. This is an interesting point. I recently met with a group that works with high school and college students and helps them get into the workforce and go through the resume and interview process. And one of the topics we talked about was how to dress for an interview. And it's my opinion that you can never be overdressed. My suggestion is always a collared shirt and no Levi's. I don't care if you're going to interview for a warehouse job. Do not wear Levi, wear some type of Dockers, some other pants, but collared shirt, pants. Of course, ladies, it's a little different dress code, but business casual, pretty much. One of the people at the group mentioned, well, yeah, but that shows people that you're conforming if you dress up when you're normally dressed down. And it was just an interesting feedback. My opinion is it doesn't matter. Uh, if you're going to an interview, you want to make a good impression. It's the first impression. You got one chance, and there's nothing negative about dressing up a little bit. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Clothing influences how others see you. That's the point. And clothes cognition, the symbiotic significance of clothes affects our cognitive functions. That's the bottom line. Dress up, you'll be more creative, you'll be more critical thinking, problem solving skills. It affects our cognitive functions. Gender socialization and gender roles. Of course, we're all familiar with these. People often conform to their culture's expectations about how those of their gender should act, dress, speak. Many commercial gender socialization, commercial sources such as girls, dolls, boys, toy guns, cartoons provide lessons for both girls and boys. Some are subliminal, some are not. But there this is another way marketers get into consumers' heads and also influencers' heads. You're talking about kids, children's gender roles. They certainly influence birthday presents, rewards, school, school gets done for the summer. Okay, good job. You're moving on. Let's go shopping. Things like that. Ideals of beauty and stereotypes. These definitely influence consumer behavior. Satisfaction with physical images depends on how closely the image corresponds to the ideal our culture values. Well, every year there's articles about marketers portraying high school girls that are too thin, and that causes all kinds of self-esteem issues with the average person. Desires to match those ideals drive person purchase decisions. That's what I just described. For example, this Nike ad on the right, just because you're a nice girl doesn't mean you can't have evil legs. Buy Nike products and you work out and you're going to have a good figure there. Advertising influences society's ideals of beauty. Of course it does. Images of impossibly thin and flawless, beautiful women continue to bombard young girls and women. Is that a bad thing? I'm just curious. Impossibly thin. Yeah, I think that's a little bit far, but the flawlessly beautiful. Is there anything wrong with showing young girls that it's okay to get dressed up and put some makeup on when you leave the house or not? I know there's a lot of models now that are not wearing makeup at all, and they, of course, are as beautiful as some of the ones that do. Media pushes out standards that are impossible to attain. The svelte models do not exist in real life. I guess I'll go with that, with all the photo touching and things like that that are going on. Yeah, and also you see a celebrity in an ad, and then you'll see them on TV, maybe at a red carpet at some event, and you're like, "Whoa, she doesn't look like I saw her in the ad." So you gotta be careful when you're a marketer not to go too far with that impossibly attainable structures. The fashionistas address the negative consequences of impossible body images, thinspiration, group dieting, anorexia, bulimia. It's out there. And again, this is influenced by some of the things they see, and it's possibly, hey, I would love to be able to wear that outfit. It just won't work with my current body, so I am on a quest to get the best body I can, because then I can wear that outfit. Fashionistas, they're pushing it. Fashionistas' body positivity. Here's the other side of the coin. The growing popularity of full-figured women has drawn attention to the self-esteem of larger women. Isn't that the truth? And this started, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. I think some of the supermodels, um, after they had a baby, their body just wasn't what it was, but they were still gorgeous and beautiful and graceful as they walked down the carpet, the fashion aisles. Um, and it's a good thing. It's there's beautiful people in all shapes, and I think marketers are finally starting to see that they got, you see this lady, they got pocketbooks and they got money as well, and they shop. Um, so definitely something to keep in mind. Ideal of beauty. What is considered the ideal of beauty among your peers? How does this ideal affect your choices as a consumer? And notice the statement among your peers. Many times, uh, consumers purchase something or buy something or even subscribe to something just so they can talk about it and being part of the group. Oh, I have that too. Or, oh, where'd you find those? Or, oh, those are fantastic. It's uh, to get that recognition among the peers. Weird and emerging marketing strategy. Saudi Arabia is the first country to grant citizenship to a robot named Sophie. Is this weird or emerging? Um, I'll leave that to you. I have no opinion on that. Uh, it could just be a marketing ploy, but they've granted citizenship to a robot. Marketing strategy, the way we think about our bodies and the way our culture tells us we should think, is a key component to self-esteem. It does help us define things. Self-esteem can be influenced by advertising. Again, we restated that very much so, because it gets into the perceived images, it gets into the self identity, and it's very powerful. And there we are. Assignments for chapter 9. Read chapter 9 for this session. Read chapter 9, chapter 10. There are quizzes and Canvas posted. Complete chapter 9, chapter 10 quizzes by February 17th. Chapter 10, there is which is coming, will be posted in another video. There's an assignment. So that's it for now. Talk to you soon and have a good day.